Almost live. Yay. And countdown. There. Okay. Good day, good day, good day. Here we are, Secrets of Safety Dog, and we will go live at 1 o'clock. Like normal, I showed up early. Hey, it is my way of life. You know, my kids, and for those of you, I know you can't see John Farquhar, but John Farquhar is coming on the show today. And John, just so you know, my kids curse me because they both show up to everything early. And they said it is my trait that I transferred them to them, and they don't always appreciate it.
Yeah, what a shame.
My son said to me, Dad, tell me, if I'm meeting my buddies at 2 o'clock, how come I show up at 1:45, and the first one of my buddies doesn't show up until at least 2:15 or later, and I'm sitting there all by myself when we said we're meeting at 2. I said, hey, but you know, but anyways, I'm sure his boss appreciates the fact that he shows up early for work every day,
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
know. But I tell you, it is a crazy world when the people can't show up to work.
I know.
Hey, John, I got a couple of things I wanted to talk about today. Did you have anything on your mind today that, oh my goodness, we get,
Probably, I think probably just a bit of an update from Friday's podcast
okay,
or whatever.
that sounds good. We've got 4 people watching. I mean, holy smokes. I think that's a record number for me. It must be because you're on the show. Everybody must know you're coming on.
Is that how that works?
Well, I'm thinking. All right, so let me just we'll switch over to here now. Hey, welcome. And we have 4 people. Let me pull up the comments in case somebody says, "Oh, Sud says hi." Can I how do I throw that on the screen there? There we go. Sud Mahorta says, "Hello, guys." And Sud, I don't know if you heard, somebody told me that you had a new job, and I hadn't even heard that you'd gone over to the dark side, the insurance company. My goodness. So, yes, John, you said so. Let me say, I guess, to our guests, welcome. How do I? Every time I throw this on the screen, I now forget how to get it off the screen.
That's
There,
because Sud's a sticky guy. He
there.
just sticks to everything.
I figured it out. I threw it on there and got it off. So, welcome to the Secrets of Safety Dog. I do have a little secret for you at the end of this. John is our guest this week. John, welcome, welcome. John of Summit
Thank
Risk
you.
Solutions.
Woohoo!
And oh, by the way, so let me just throw that back on there. Sud says it's been going as interesting. So cool. I'm glad that you are finding the dark side interesting because I'll tell you, Sud, I thought it was the greatest job I ever had when I worked for an insurance company. You know, coming from transportation where I was expected to work 50 to 60 hours a week. That was the expectation. And then I moved to an insurance company and they said, okay, here you've got to put in your 35-hour week. I went, what? 35 hours? How in the heck? What am I going to do with the rest of the week? John, did you find something similar when you moved?
Oh God, yes. It was interesting because when I closed down my trucking operation, I sat and had a conversation with my 2 kids and said, "Hey, if you're interested in taking this on after me, I'll hang around. We'll do something with it, and I'll stick it out." And they both looked at me like I had a third head and went, "Dad, you put in 80 hours a week. Why would we want to do that?"
Yeah. So
so
anyway,
so yeah and then when I moved into the insurance industry, my colleagues actually cornered me one day and said, "Look, you're making us look bad, and there's no need for you to do this because you're not getting paid any more money, so slow down."
yeah, I'll tell you, it was quite interesting. I managed to play a lot more golf when I was with the insurance company that I am
Hmm.
doing
Hmm. Exactly.
self-employed.
Exactly.
I got
Exactly.
no time for golf. So, John,
Exactly.
what did you
So,
want to say about? I think he's referring to the Friday episode of the Trucking Risk and
mhm,
Insurance
mhm,
podcast. What did you
mhm.
want to add there?
Well, when we did the podcast, we didn't have a date when in November they were going to implement the new protocols for double vax or fully vaccinated travelers across the border. It has now been listed as November 8th is when they're going to open the border. But interesting enough, and I'm not sure all of us were aware of this. I certainly wasn't. I just took it for granted. But coming back into Canada now poses a big problem because going into the US, all you need to be is fully vaccinated, show proof of vaccination through the app on your mobile device, and away you go. But coming back into Canada, they're not only requiring proof of vaccination, but also confirmation of a negative COVID test. And it has to be within 72 hours of your crossing. And it has to be the big test, which costs you about 200 bucks.
Yes, but that's for I'll call it
Non-essential travel.
yeah, I'll call it normal people,
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly, exactly.
uh, as opposed to
So
truck drivers.
yes, yes, truck
What?
drivers still freely allowed to travel back and forth, but they have made it very clear that come early January, they haven't set a date for January. Come early January, essential workers, truck drivers, healthcare workers traveling across the border will have to be fully vaccinated.
Yeah. Now, as I was saying to you, I don't know if we covered this. Is Okay, so we are tight on truck drivers. I think you and I both
Hmm.
agree that we don't have a truck
Hmm.
driver shortage right now.
Right.
But if 80% of the general population in Canada is vaccinated,
Hmm. Hmm.
um, can I safely assume that perhaps about 80% of truck drivers are vaccinated? Would that mean then that let's assume that 10% of people have a legit medical reason, because I think
Hmm.
that's a fair statement. There are some people that have a legit medical reason that they would not and cannot get vaccinated,
Hmm.
and proof of that goes into the app. Um, but that still leaves us with 10%. If
Hmm.
10% of the cross border truck drivers now were to either resign or say they can't cross the border because they are refusing to be vaccinated, would that actually cause a truck driver shortage and trucking rates to go up in Canada and make it fun to be a trucking company owner again? That's my
We
question.
could we could hope.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think,
Yeah.
yeah, it might make an interesting scenario in January.
Hmm. 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 I know there's been some of the trucking associations jump on board here, and I think they're trying to do some pushback with the U.S. legislation right now because of just this shortage of drivers it's going to create. So it'll be interesting to see where this comes out.
Yeah, I got to think heads will prevail, thought will go into this, and they would rescind it for truck drivers. Well, I mean, it's worked for the last 18 or 24 months for as long as we've
Hmm.
had this pandemic.
Hmm.
Show me the need for the change right now.
Hmm.
Like, truck drivers aren't the ones that are spreading COVID.
No.
I'm not aware of any truck drivers, and I'm sure there are some that have gotten sick. But, are you aware of any truck driver that picked it up in the States? I
No,
mean,
no. I'm aware of a couple of trucking operations that have been affected by COVID, but it's been internal staff,
yeah.
not drivers. I haven't heard of anybody on a driver perspective.
So the truck drivers are pretty smart. They're adhering to
Yep.
protocols, wearing the
Yep.
mask, sanitizing their trucks when
Hmm.
necessary. Um,
Hmm.
I too have not. I'm sure there has been truck drivers, but I haven't heard of anything unusual in the trucking
Hmm.
industry. So hey,
Yeah.
that's the way it is. Hey, John, I wanted to show you something, by the way. So is that all you
Sure.
wanted to say about that?
Yeah. I don't want to. I don't want to take it too much time because I know we don't. You don't spend a lot of time on Mondays. So, but it was just. I thought I just had that in there.
Yeah. Look at this.
Ooh, ooh, I like that. That's nice.
Well, see,
That's
you know that
cool.
I had my truck that goes by, and it's got the
Mm-hmm.
safety dog logo and
Mm-hmm.
everything,
Yep.
and we're jointly hosting. By the way, that is a joint
Yep.
hosting
Yep.
event, the Trucking Risk and Insurance Podcast. John Farquhar
Mm-hmm.
and Chris Harris. Hey,
Yep.
so
Yeah.
two different companies. And so I thought it was kind of unfair to, flash my logo on the screen. And I, wanted to, I kind of made this one, you know.
I like that one. It's got nice air ride.
Yeah, I tried to make it so it was on a bumpy hill, like I just trying to have some fun with it. So, um, every Friday for our listeners, every Friday about 10 a.m., we
Mm-hmm.
release another episode of the Trucking Risk and Insurance Podcast. So, John, I want your take. So, you're done with
Sure.
Monday.
Yep.
Um, just to, I'm going to go off camera. We are, I'm going to share. Oops, I thought I was going off camera. I guess I am kind of gone off camera here. When I move this out of the way here, come on, I move
Sure.
Monday.
Yep.
Um, just to hang on now. I'm going to go off camera. We are. I'm going to
Oh,
share.
my
Oops,
goodness.
I thought I was going off
There.
camera. I guess I
Now.
am. Kind of got that. I was out shopping on the weekend, and
Mm.
uh, actually, if I remember how, I'm going to go back on camera. Can I do this? Can I do this? Do I remember how? There. I was out shopping on the weekend, and I can't believe the prices of stuff. And I gotta believe that inflation. So I looked up this chart here, and it said in July, August, I guess this is, that inflation was at 4.1%. My God, things are expensive out there. I just wanted to throw that at you.
I buy it. My daughter, actually, who runs a bake shop, um, just came back from maternity leave, and compliments of the pandemic, she's had no choice but to increase her prices to cover her costs. Her costs have gone through the roof, whether it be packaging material for her product, her baking ingredients and whatnot have all gone through the roof. And she was quite surprised because, again, while she was on maternity leave, she really wasn't paying attention to this till she had to go get product. And it was like, oh my God. So,
Yep. Well, I'll tell you, I mean, you know that my special one in my life
mm-hmm.
also owns her own business.
Yep.
And we've seen, like at the beginning of the pandemic, PPE, gloves and masks and shields were astronomical. Those things have returned to normal, but there's a lot of things that have not returned to normal in her business.
Mm-hmm.
And because they are a regulated business, she's not able to, well, I shouldn't say she's not able to. She chooses not to go above what's called the fee guide in the
Right.
dental hygiene business. So and I'll tell you, our profit has plummeted to the point where there is none anymore. And I'm saying, hey, we got to do something. And she's struggling because she doesn't want to put added fees onto her clients that have been her clients for many years.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's it has to be passed down, or businesses aren't going to be able to survive. It's no different than restaurants that are out there right now. My wife and I were out for dinner last week, and it was like, whoa, that used to be $50 for the pair of us. Now it's 75. Holy wow!
Well, kind of a funny story. My brother, who lives in Florida, has been up in Canada, in Ontario here for, he said 6 weeks. I couldn't believe he's been here 6 weeks. But the poor man, he's older than I am. He nearly had a heart attack when he went into the liquor store. Yeah, he's going, what? $60 or $65 for what I can pay $22 for? So
Yep.
poor guy.
Should have brought stock with him.
Yeah. So I just wanted to touch on this again. I put the link in the show notes down below. There are now 6 approved ELD providers in Canada. So
Yay.
we have a whole whopping 6. And the law came into effect on June the 12th, of course, of 21.
Yep.
So that's kind of interesting, I think. But anyways, last thing I wanted to talk about, and maybe you have a comment on this. Let me prep this. I'll hit, I want to hit, how do I hit? They've done an update.
Uh-oh.
Isn't that interesting? They've done an update now, and that is not what I wanted to do. They've done, and I don't like that. They have done an update in, oh, maybe that's what I'm supposed to do. Okay. Where did it go? It didn't work. Oh, now I got to do there. Okay, now I understand. Apple and their updates.
Yep.
So, what is the secret this week that I wanted to share? So we get into the pro tip section of the, come on now, work baby, work. Okay, so the pro tip for this week is new equipment. When you bring new equipment in, I don't find many people that actually record the date they brought it in or the mileage that they brought it in. And of course, when you sell your equipment, I tell my clients to record the date or the mileage and depending on how you do things. And the reason for that is when the MTO comes in for an audit, they ask you for your maintenance statement. And if your maintenance statement is, I do it every 90 days, well, when did that piece of equipment come into your fleet or when did it leave? And the same thing can be said for when did that piece of equipment leave? What date, what mileage? Should it be included in the audit or not? So that was my tip, and what I'm offering to, everyone, if I go back to that, is I have a little form that looks like this, and as you can see here, it says first date of operation. Oh, this is the old one. Darn. I'll have to update that. I know I did somewhere, but it says first date of operation or kilometers, and last date of operation or kilometers, depending on how you want to write your policy maintenance or your, what's that called, John?
Maintenance statement?
Maintenance statement, yes, because it should either be days or in kilometers. Is there any other way you can write a maintenance statement?
Well, you can do it hourly. I used to work with a lot of carriers, or not carriers, small operations out of Western Canada that work everything by the hour.
Oh, okay, yeah, hourly would be good, and especially reefers.
Yep. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's about recording it. You know, when did it start? When did it end? When did it come into service, go out of service? So, yeah, very much asked for.
Yeah. So, hang on here. By the way, I just went and checked. Let me throw this on the screen. Miss Lisa Arsenault. She says 35 hours a week, you part-timers. Wow. As an insurance broker, that's a different story. I know many insurance brokers that work damn hard.
And Lisa's no different.
Oh, I'm sure she puts her time in. I'm absolutely.
But she's much younger than we are, Chris. So she can do that. We're on the retirement cusp. We're wanting to downgrade and downsize what we do because we've been there, we've done that. Lisa, oh God, she can't be much more than 35, 36 years old. So she's still got a lot of young life behind her.
Yep. So I don't know if Lisa's still with us or not, but if she is, there you go. John just complimented you, my young lady, because I know she's 36. Quit trying to make her younger.
Good. Sorry, I tried.
Okay. So let me just go back to this for a quick section. This is actually a 3-page document. So if you want it, there's a website. You can go there and grab it. And yes, I get your email address. And I think I put that in the show notes. I'm not exactly sure if I did. If I didn't, I will put it in the show notes. And you can grab that and see what the MTO says should be part of your maintenance. So,
Exactly. Good stuff.
John,
Good pro tip. Excellent.
what else is happening? Anything? We got a couple of recordings, I know.
Yeah, I was just going to say, make sure you pay attention come Friday. We're going to have another podcast out. So, and, get ready. It's going to be some good information.
Yep. And we were, just for our listeners and viewers, we were discussing this, and I think John and I are probably going to have a commentary / news, I don't know what it is, about once a month. It'll just be John and I on the show. And then the other 3 episodes are going to be guests. Because last Friday's episode I quite enjoyed.
Yeah. I just thought of a name for it. The Jibber Jabber Session.
Or 2 gray-bearded guys who are on the brink of retirement flapping their gums.
Washerwomen. I've been accused of being a washerwoman. Like the little old ladies that were down by the river beating their clothes on the rocks, and then they'd natter and talk for hours on end. That could be us. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if anybody has another name besides the Trucking Risk and Insurance Podcast for the sessions that John and I do, 2 gray bearded safety people falling off the horse episode, I don't know. Something. If you've got a suggestion, put it in the show notes below. All right, yeah. John, we've been talking for 20 minutes. We got to get ready. We got a couple of interviews to record. So
we do.
We got some awesome guests coming up.
Yep, perfect. And we need to let these folks get back to work, because somebody's got to work, because apparently they're only putting in 35 hours a week.
Yeah. Well, that's the insurance people. The trucking people are working 55 and 60. So,
yes, exactly.
And truck drivers, who in the heck knows how many hours they are working?
Easy 60.
Yeah,
so,
we won't go there. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, John, for popping in. Appreciate it. Bye, my friend.